Tantalus, a king in Sicily, angered the gods. His son, Pelops, became a target. Fearing for his life, Pelops fled. He sailed across the Aegean Sea. He sought refuge in a new land, Greece. Greece welcomed the young prince. It was a land of heroes and monsters. Pelops, with his own tragic past, fit right in. He was determined to build a new life, far from the shadow of his father's sins. Pelops traveled across the land. He met kings, fought beasts, and proved his worth. He was strong, brave, and cunning. People began to whisper his name with respect. One king, impressed by Pelops, offered him his daughter's hand. The marriage brought prosperity. Pelops became a powerful ruler. The land he ruled, a peninsula in southern Greece, became known as Peloponnese, the island of Pelops. King Oenomaus ruled Elis, a kingdom within Peloponnese. He had a daughter, Hippodamia. She was known throughout the land for her beauty. Suitors, princes, and kings came from far and wide to seek her hand. But Oenomaus was driven by a terrible prophecy. It foretold his death at the hands of his daughter's husband. Determined to defy fate, he devised a deadly challenge for any man who dared to court Hippodamia. Oenomaus possessed a chariot gifted by the god Ares. It was pulled by immortal untamed steeds. He challenged each suitor to a race. The prize Hippodamia's hand in marriage, the price of failure death. Many had tried and many had failed. Their bones littered the path of the chariot race, a grim reminder of Oenomaus's unwavering resolve. Pelops, hearing of the beautiful Hippodamia and the deadly race, decided to try his luck. Section 5. A desperate plan. Pelops, despite his courage, knew he couldn't win against Oenomaus in a fair race. The king's horses were too powerful. He had to find another way, a way to outsmart the king, to level the playing field. He approached Myrtilos, the king's charioteer. Myrtilos, they said, was enamored by Hippodamia himself. Pelops, seeing an opportunity, whispered a proposition, a dangerous gamble that could win him the princess and cost Myrtilos his life. Section 6. Myrtilos, the accomplice. In the annals of ancient Greek mythology, few tales are as intricate and tragic as that of Myrtilos. His story is one of love, betrayal, and the dire consequences of deceit. Pelops, a cunning and ambitious prince, sought the hand of the beautiful Hippodamia. To win her, he needed to defeat her father, King Oenomaus, in a chariot race. But the king's chariots were unbeatable, and Pelops knew he needed an edge. In exchange for Myrtilos's help, he promised him a night with Hippodamia. Pelops, however, was a master of deceit. He knew it was a promise he had no intention of keeping. His words were honeyed lies, designed to ensnare Myrtilos in his web of treachery. Myrtilos, a skilled charioteer and the son of Hermes, was known for his loyalty and expertise. Yet, he was also vulnerable, especially when it came to matters of the heart. Myrtilos, blinded by love and desperation, agreed to Pelops' deceitful plan. His heart yearned for Hippodamia, and he believed that this was his only chance to be with her. The promise of a single night with her was enough to cloud his judgment and make him complicit in Pelops' scheme. The night before the race, Myrtilos, driven by his love for Hippodamia, replaced the bronze linchpins of the king's chariot with ones made of beeswax. This seemingly small change was a calculated act of sabotage. Myrtilos knew that the beeswax linchpins would melt under the intense heat and friction of the race, causing the chariot to fall apart. As the race began, the chariot sped down the track, the wheels spinning furiously. The crowd watched in anticipation, unaware of the treachery that had taken place. The beeswax linchpins, as predicted, began to melt. A small change, but one that would prove fatal in the heat of the race. The king's chariot collapsed, leading to a catastrophic accident that would change the course of many lives. Section 7. Victory and Betrayal. In the annals of Greek mythology, few tales are as riveting as the story of Pelops and Oenomaus. This is a tale of ambition, cunning, and the ultimate price of deceit. The day of the race dawned, casting a golden hue over the ancient Greek landscape. The air was thick with anticipation, and the early morning light bathed the ruins in a serene glow, a stark contrast to the tension that was building. The crowd roared as Pelops and Oenomaus took their positions. The stadium was a sea of eager faces, each person holding their breath, waiting for the race to begin. The energy was palpable, a mix of excitement and dread. The chariots thundered across the plains, their wheels kicking up clouds of dust. The sound was deafening, a symphony of hooves and wheels, as each charioteer pushed their horses to the limit. Eunomeos, as always, took an early lead. His chariot was a blur, a testament to his skill and the strength of his horses. The crowd cheered louder, their hero was in the lead. But then, as the sun reached its zenith, disaster struck. The intense midday sun beat down on the racers, adding to the already grueling challenge. It was at this critical moment that fate intervened. The sabotaged chariot axle gave way. The sound of splintering wood was unmistakable, a harbinger of the tragedy that was about to unfold. The crowd gasped, their cheers turning to cries of horror. Eunomeos was thrown from his chariot, dragged to his death by his own horses. The scene was chaotic, a blur of motion and dust, as the once proud charioteer met his untimely end. Pelops, victorious but deceitful, crossed the finish line claiming his prize Hippodamia and the kingdom of Elis. His victory was tainted, a reminder that even in triumph, the shadow of betrayal loomed large. The crowd's cheers were now mixed with whispers of treachery as the true cost of victory became clear. Section 8. The Curse of Myrtilos. Pelops, true to his nature, betrayed Myrtilos. He refused to honor his end of the bargain. Instead, he hurled Myrtilos off a cliff into the sea. As he plunged to his death, Myrtilos cursed Pelops and his descendants. The curse of Myrtilos cast a long shadow. It would plague the house of Pelops for generations, bringing tragedy, bloodshed, and misfortune upon his children and their children after them. Section 9. The Legacy of Pelops. Pelops, a name that echoes through the annals of ancient Greek history, is a figure both revered and reviled. His tale is one of ambition, triumph, and tragedy, a story that has been passed down through generations, each retelling adding new layers to his complex legacy. Despite the curse that haunted his lineage, Pelops's name lived on. His story is not just a tale of personal ambition, but also a reflection of the human condition, where greatness and flaws coexist. The ruins of ancient Greece, with their weathered stones and inscriptions, still whisper his name, a testament to his enduring impact. He became a legendary figure, his story told and retold throughout the ages. Bards and storytellers would gather in amphitheaters, recounting his exploits, his victories, and his downfalls. Manuscripts and scrolls, now aged and fragile, still bear the marks of his tale, ensuring that his legacy would never be forgotten. The Peloponnese, the land he conquered, still bears his name. This region, rich in history and culture, stands as a living monument to Pelops's ambition and determination. The very landscape, with its rolling hills and ancient ruins, seems to tell the story of a man who once sought to carve out his destiny. His story is a reminder that even the greatest heroes can be flawed. The statues that stand in his honor, now cracked and weathered, symbolize the duality of his nature. They remind us that heroism is not without its imperfections, and that even the mightiest can fall. His ambition, his cunning, and his ruthlessness ultimately led to his downfall. The intense gaze of warrior statues, the thrill of chariot races, and the chaos of ancient battles all reflect the relentless drive that defined Pelops. His quest for power and glory, while bringing him great success, also sowed the seeds of his eventual demise. But his legacy, for better or for worse, is forever woven into the fabric of Greek mythology. Tapestries, temple carvings, and murals depict his story, ensuring that Pelops remains a central figure in the rich tapestry of Greek myth. His life, with all its triumphs and tragedies, continues to captivate and inspire, a timeless reminder of the complexities of human nature. Section 10. The story continues. The story of Pelops doesn't end here. His children, Atreus and Thyestes, would inherit his kingdom and his curse. Their tale, a saga of betrayal, murder, and revenge, is even more gruesome and tragic than their father's. But for now, we leave the story of Pelops, a tale of ambition, betrayal, and the enduring power of a curse. The story will continue in future episodes. Stay tuned.